Over the last 4 years, I've made hundreds of mediocre camping, hiking and gear review videos. I've tried out loads of different cameras and accessories and different filming gear, and today I'm going to show you everything that I currently use for making my videos in the outdoors. Before I get into the specifics, there's a few things that you always need to keep in mind when you are going to be filming outdoors. The main things are any equipment that you take out needs to be pretty rugged, and that doesn't just mean waterproof, it's got to be dustproof, it's got to be able to survive, or at least being with a good chance of surviving if you drop it or if it falls over. It's got to be relatively small and light so that you can easily carry it around with you. I like to keep things simple, so I'm not messing around changing camera settings and things while I'm out. And you do need to factor cost into the equation, I think, because I'm quite a clumsy person, and the chances are you are going to break something or something's going to fall off a cliff at some point, and you don't want that thing to be a £1,000 camera or a £2,000 camera. It's a lot less of a sting if it's, you know, a couple of £100 or £300 camera. So the first thing I use is the DJI Action 5 Pro action camera. I started with the old Osmo Action 1, the first generation. Then I moved to the GoPro, I had a GoPro 10 and a GoPro 12, I think it was. And then I moved to the DJI Action 4, and I've recently upgraded to the 5. Any of those action type cameras are gonna serve you well. They tick the box from a ruggedness point of view. You can throw them into a stream if you want. I've had mine rolling down hills and into caves and stuff, and they've been fine. And once you've tweaked the settings on them, they are dead easy to use. You can literally just press the record button, the camera starts up, starts recording, then you press the button again to stop when you've finished. If you're just starting out, you can use your phone. A lot of people do use phones. I would move away from that as soon as you can, because I use my phone for maps, for messaging, for writing scripts for my videos. So I'm using my phone for other things. And if I'm relying on that as a film camera and a primary camera, it's just too much for one device. The batteries don't last that long on phones either. And they are, at the end of the day, a big screen that is quite fragile. So if anything's going to break, your phone's probably the most delicate thing that you've got with you. Having said that, I do use my phone for B-roll or extra shots that you can overlay. The shots that you see in this video where I'm showing you the products close up and in detail were shot on this. It's the iPhone 15 Pro, but any phone from the last sort of 4 or 5 years will probably have a 4K camera on it, and again, serve you well. Audio is important as well. It's a big part of keeping people engaged in your videos and keeping them watching. So especially in the outdoors, you need to be aware of things like wind noise, like planes going overhead, like other people walking around. People want to hear what you've got to say and hear you only, and a little bit of the environment, I guess. They don't want wind noise blowing down your microphone. They'll just switch off. So a few things you can look at to help avoid that. One is a remote microphone like the one I've got here. This is a DJI Mic 2. Another thing you can do if you don't want to invest in a microphone straight away is use what's called a wind slayer. So this is just literally a piece of sponge that's cut to the size of your camera. You put your camera inside it, and the sponge helps to block any of that wind noise that's going into your microphones. And these do work surprisingly well. For a long time, this is the only thing I used. On my GoPro, it's all I used. And then when I'm editing my videos, the software that I use, that I'll talk about later, has got voice isolation built into it. So that uses AI to get rid of any other noise other than your voice. Once you've got your camera and your audio sorted, so your video and your audio, you're going to need to look at some sort of tripod type thing. Now my main one is this Ulanzi tripod. It's a bit of a beast, but there's a few reasons why I like it. So you can use this as a selfie stick, you can extend it, or you can expand the feet out to turn it into a tripod. And it's big enough to put on the floor and stand next to it and talk to the camera. So it's probably one of the most compact tripods that I've seen that goes to that height. The other thing it's got is a quick release. So if I press that button there, I can remove my action camera mount, and then I carry a separate one that's got a phone mount on it. So I can put my phone in there, mount that to the tripod, and then I only use that really for taking thumbnails and taking photographs. So it's just a quick and easy way to get something to hold your phone. Now this can be overkill for just hikes and shorter videos. This is more like an overnight camp tripod. I have got a smaller one that I use if I'm just going for a walk or a hike. And then the other thing I've got, which is my newest addition, is this neck mount. So I've got an action camera mount on there, and then I can literally put that around my neck, which will hold my camera here. So I've got both hands free to sort of do things with. So if I'm doing tent reviews, cooking, doing whatever really, I can get both hands involved and I'm not having to hold a tripod or anything like that. This is the newest addition to my kit. I haven't really used it yet and I'm still undecided as to whether it's just too much faff for the limited amount of shots that I'll get with it, but we'll see. What else we got? You're gonna need some batteries. So I mentioned phones are great, but the batteries don't last that long, so you need to carry power packs and stuff. Action cameras have come a long way now. My last camp video, I only used one battery in the Action 5 Pro, but I have got a box with 3 spare batteries in it if I do need them. I got that with my Action 4 camera, but the batteries are the same between both cameras. And then I've got this light here. So if you're on a camp, you've probably got a head torch or one of those flex tail gear pumps with a light in it, or the light on your phone, or just some sort of light. But I have got as well this Ulanzi rechargeable light there, connected to a little GorillaPod thing. So the arms on this rotate and move around, so I can make this grip onto anything really, a branch, a tent pole, anything like that. Because it's important with action cameras, they've only got a small sensor, so you need a lot of light coming into them to get a decent quality picture. Don't forget as well, if you do buy an action camera, you are going to need a memory card to put inside it. They don't always come with one, and I would recommend going for the biggest capacity that you can. Make sure you get the right speed card, but make sure you invest in a big capacity one. I think I use a 256 gigabyte one because you don't want to be out in the field or out in the middle of nowhere and faff around changing memory cards. They're tiny little things and they're easily lost. So I use one that's big enough that I can just leave in the camera and not have to worry about until I get home. And then a lot of people just talk about gear and the cameras themselves, but the other side to it is the editing side. So you are going to need some sort of software or tool to allow you to take the video that you've shot and chop it up, make it into a complete video to upload to YouTube. Now I started with iMovie, and that's a software package that comes on Macs and MacBooks for free when you buy one. But there are things like CapCut that's free on Windows or other platforms. I think you can get that on your phone as well. There's DaVinci Resolve, that's a real sort of professional level editing software that's used to edit movies and stuff, but it's free, so you can use that. I upgraded a couple of years ago to Final Cut Pro on the Mac, which is dead easy to use, and it's a natural follow-on from iMovie. There's not really anything in there, or there's not much in there that you don't get with iMovie, so it's up to you whether you did upgrade or not, but there's plenty of free tools or really cheap tools out there to edit video, whether it's editing on your phone or on a laptop or PC or a tablet. It's really just about trying a few different ones out and seeing what works for you. So I hope that was useful, especially if you're thinking about becoming a loser tuber like me. If you've got any questions at all, drop them in the comments and I'll get back to you, and I'll see you next time.